Eruvin Perek Tet Mishnah Gimel, third Mishnah in the 9th chapter of Eruvin. Says the Mishnah, Chatzer shenifritza l'rishut harabim mishtei ruchoteha. If I have a courtyard and the wall basically fell down in two directions on a corner, okay, so therefore there's no more chatzer. The chatzer is no longer effective. And if this is very similar to the Mishnah we last learned, remember we talked about a wall in the last Mishnah where more than 10 amot fell down. So the chatzer is no longer, it started at Shabbat, had a din of a chatzer, but now the wall fell down on Shabbat. Similarly, v'chein, mavoy shnitlu korotav ulachayav. I have a mavoy. Let me see if I can find my mavoy. Here we go. And I've got a turat petach here, and I've got let me see if I can move me. Here we go. I've got a lech here, so I've got a great mavoy. Okay, wonderful. And then the lechi fell down, so I can't use it anymore. Says the Mishnah, mutarim ba'oto Shabbat, v'asurim latid lavo divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says that there's this principle of, in halacha, hoil miktzata, or if something was muktzah in bein hashmashot, it's asur the whole Shabbat. But something that's mutar, that wasn't muktzah bein hashmashot, it's not mutar, it's mutar on all of Shabbat. Says so here in our case as well. Okay, mutarin, since it's mutar le'oto Shabbat, hoil v'hutar miktato. Once it was mutar partially, therefore it's mutar the entire Shabbat. But for next Shabbat, not so much. Asurin la'atid lavo. It's not mutar in future. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. That's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Once it's mutar, it's mutar. Even though the walls fell down, you're still good for this Shabbat. Rabbi Yossi says no. Im mutarin la'oto Shabbat, mutarin la'atid lavo. If it's mutar, it's mutar. V'im asurim la'atid lavo. But if it's asur next Shabbat, asurin la'oto Shabbat. It's asur for this Shabbat. It's Rabbi Yossi's way of saying it doesn't work that way. You can't say once it's mutar, it's mutar. There's no walls anymore. So therefore, if it's asur next week, it's asur this week. Let's look at the Bartunura for a second. Okay? The Rabbi Yossi says the following. Kolomar, meaning, Kishem she'asuri lati lavo, just like it's asur next week, kach asurin la'ota Shabbat. It's asur for this Shabbat as well. You don't have a wall, you don't have a chatzer. It's not going to be good next week, it's not going to be good this week. Why? The halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. Okay? The halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. Why? V'lo amrinan hutra miksat Shabbat. Hutra kula, ela li'inyan eruv. The only time we said this rule of hutra miksat Shabbat, hutra kula, that if it's partially good, it's all good, is for the eruv itself, the food. Remember the enclosure, there's the enclosure, and then there's the food, the shared food. Shedavar she'utar al yedei eruv miksat Shabbat, because once I have a good eruv, v'nolad be'ota Shabbat davar shehaya ra'ui she'ayado yitpatel ha'eruv. And if for some reason the food became not usable as an eruv in the middle of Shabbat, then eina eruv batel. Then the whole eruv isn't cancelled. Because once it was good for part of Shabbat, then the eruv, which is the rabbinic introduction, then that's mutar. Once we say it's mutar for all of Shabbat. But if you had walls, and the walls were broken, we don't say this with the idea of ho'il, meaning because it's not a halachic construction. There's no longer any walls. So therefore, if there's no walls, you can't say once it's good for all of Shabbat. And that's how we paskin. We'll stop here. As always, comments or questions, email me here, and we'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.